Hello there, my name is Hydo and welcome to the Baal show. Wait, what? Oh my god, it's the Lord of Murder. Baal. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. 5 mana for a 4/4, as long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total. Baal, Lord of Murder, has Indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature and goad it. Oh. Really nice. Goading, forcing to attack and distributing counters all over the place. Really quite a cool commander. And having an indestructible commander, if you've ever played any of the, oh god, what are they called? Gods. There you go. This is a god. Ugh, come on, Adam. Poor show. But, it's really powerful because they just stick around. They act more as an enchantment. So this is a nice card. What else would be nice is if you joined me in the cabal as my followers. Please subscribe and, join me on looking at commander cards. So come along for the journey. And without further ado, let's have a look at number 5. And at number 5, we've got Alpine Guide. And I wanted to focus on some ramp packages, or a ramp package that you could has creatures that sacrifice themselves. An Alpine Guide is a really cool inclusion. 3 mana, 3/3 Human Scout. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a mountain card, put the card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. It attacks each combat if able, so similar to Goad, except, well, yeah, it's very similar to Goad. And when it leaves the battlefield, sacrifice a mountain. So the sort of land is temporary, but it should be able to get us up there so that we can cast our bigger spells, maybe our commander, go from 3 to 5 on turn 4. And then when this dies, we're going to get a nice trigger on Baal, and we're going to put a 1/1 counter and goad something. So I think it works well in the style of deck we want to have. Sakura Tribe Elder is another one that we could draw late game and it'd still have a use thanks to the creature dying and Baal putting a counter on something. So we can sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put the card into the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. And for just 2 mana, that is a fantastic piece of ramp. Then we've got the Dawn Trader Elk. 2 mana, 2/2 Elk. Pay a green and sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. You can pace it out. I like ramp that you can pace out. It works out really well. You wouldn't think it would, but it's decent. And having a 2/2 that you can sacrifice at any point to Baal something and make it goaded is really good. Then we've got Yavimaya Granger. 3 mana for a 2/2 with Echo. So if you don't pay its cost again during your next upkeep, you sacrifice it. And when it comes into play, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it into battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. So again, this goes from 3 on turn 4. We're going to have 5 thanks to this land coming in. And then if Baal is on the battlefield, it sacrifices itself, and we put a counter and goad something. Works wonderfully. So there we go, a nice ramp selection that works well with Baal. Then let's have a look at number 4. And at number 4, what have we got? Well, it's Bothersome Croissant? I don't know what that word is. 3 mana for a 3/2 Demon with Menace. Goaded creatures your opponents control can't block. Excellent. Then, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, goad target creature an opponent controls. So, not only will our commander be goading things, this allows us to goad other things with, just any non-creature spell. So it's really quite powerful. And a 3/2 Menace for 3, not the worst in the world. And this section is all about goading. Then we've got Baloth Baratel Entertainer. Is he all that entertaining? I don't know. I've never seen his variety specials, but I've heard they're quite good. 5 mana, 2/5. Creatures your opponents control with power less than Baloth Baratel, God knows how you say it, power are goaded. Hey! And whenever a goaded attacking or blocking creature dies, you create a treasure token. So that's really powerful. I'm mainly playing this for the sort of treasure making aspect. The global goading is good, especially against tokens. Really powerful card, and a nice goader. Then we got the Death Kiss. 6 mana for a 5/5 Beholder. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks one of your opponents, double its power until end of turn. Ooh, And we can pay a red and double X, a monstrosity for X. When it becomes monstrous, goad up to X target creatures your opponents control. Really, really powerful. Nice big creature. And the doubling of damage is actually really, really powerful. If we're forcing our opponents to attack within themselves, we want them to kill each other faster. Baal. Goading and the Death Kiss really helps us do that. So a great selection there. Then we got the Agitator Ant. 3 mana 2/2 at the beginning of your end step. Each player may put 2 1/1 counters on a creature they control. Goad each creature that had counters put it on this way. So a nice selection. We can goad our own creatures. You know, that's something the Baal doesn't really say much about. You can goad your own creatures. So this, we can put the counters on ourselves. Really, really nice. And, you know, we want to attack our opponents anyway, so goading our own creatures is not too bad. Then there's Disrupt Decorum. 4 mana for a sorcerer. Goad all creatures you don't control. Absolute bedlam. Bellingham. That's an old tennis club I used to play at. This is a fantastic card. Just causes absolute carnage. Really, really nice. Then we got Karazaka. The Eye Tyrant. 5 mana 5/5 Beholder. Whenever you attack a player, tap target creature that player controls and goad it. So a nice bit of evasion. You know, you're forcing one blocker out of combat so you can get in there. Whenever an opponent attacks another one of your opponents, you and the attacking player each draw a card and lose 1 life. So it really is incentivizing people to attack. Even if they're not goaded, this makes them want to attack our opponents, so they're going to get that card. And guess what? That benefits us because we get a card as well. And to finish off, we got the Vengeful Ancestor. 4 mana 3/4 Flying Spirit Dragon. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, goad target creature. Whenever a goaded creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. Really, really nice and works excellently with the goad theme that Baal is leading us towards. So a wonderful, wonderful selection there. Goading, it's what your friends want you to do. And that takes us on to number 3. And at number 3, we've got Generous Patron. Now, Baal is going to be putting counters all over the place and mainly on our opponent's creatures. So, Generous Patron really benefits us here. 3 mana 1/4. When it enters the battlefield, support 2. So you can put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 of the target creatures. Remember, that's target. That doesn't have to be our own. We can put this on our opponent's creatures. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature you don't control, draw a card. Oh, I love drawing me some cards. So whenever, you know, his ability triggers, we're going to be drawing a card thanks to Generous Patron. Now here are a couple of other ways of putting a counter, maybe not a 1/1 counter, but a counter onto things. Tetsamok Primal Death is a fantastic little board wipe that I once played against in the only GP I've ever entered, and it knocked me out in like round 14 or something. I was very depressed. 6 mana for a 6/6 Death Toucher. Pay a black and reveal it from your hand. Put a prey counter on target creature. Activate this ability only during your turn. Very nice. And when it enters the battlefield, destroy each creature your opponents control with a prey counter on it. So using Generous Patron, we can keep using that black ability to just constantly put prey counters on things and draw tons of cards. Then we've got the Sheltering Ancient, 2 mana 5/5 Tree Folk with Trample and cumulative upkeep, usually a massive negative, and it is pretty bad here, but it works nicely. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature an opponent controls. Really, really nice. So this can help us give out the counters, so we're making our opponent's creatures bigger, so when we goad them using Bhaal, we're going to be dealing tons more damage. And we get a 5/5 for the deal. Then we've got Chavil, Bane of Monsters, 2 mana 1/3 Death Touch Human Rogue. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on a target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. And whenever an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. So what you can do is you can set up a creature, put a bounty counter on it, then force it to attack with Goad. Probably going to die. We draw a card. Next turn, put another bounty counter on it. And if Generous Patron's on the field, we're drawing cards the entire time. Just works incredibly. Then we've got Archfiend of Ifnir. Now, cycling. I've recently changed my name. I used to be Cycling MTG on YouTube. Now I'm Hydo MTG. Is it a good move? I don't know. But cycling's still my favourite mechanic ever. So if you want to go down the cycling route, this is a fantastic card. 5 mana 5/4 flyer. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. Oh, excellent little board wipe. And, you know, just discarding cards is generally what you're going to be doing. You know, lots of red impulse draw that discards cards, things like that. Great. Then, here's an interesting card which I'd never seen before. Misfortune. Not Misfortune from League of Legends, sadly, but this is just a misfortunate event. 4 mana for a sorcery. Target opponent chooses one. You put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and gain 4 life. So our opponents could be very kind and say, hey, yeah, cool, I'll give you the counters. And I go, thanks. Thanks for the 4 life as well. Or they put a -1/-1 or I put a -1/-1 counter on each creature that opponent controls, and it deals 4 damage to that opponent. So it's a nice little choice, and it's a way to get counters onto an opponent's creatures. Really interesting card, I'd never seen it. Then, if we're putting counters all over our opponent's creatures, sometimes they end up with a lot of very good creatures, and we can't stop it. But Kulrath Knight comes in to save the day. 5 mana 3/3, flying and wither. So it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Interesting. And creatures your opponents control with counters on them can't attack or block. So what we can do is we can just keep applying the counters on them, and then when everything goes, you know, belly up, we play this, and then they can't attack with them. Hey, wonderful. Then you go, a nice selection there for putting counters onto our opponent's creatures. Which brings me on to number 2, and at number 2, we've got paying half your life. Because with this commander, Baal does not have indestructibility, but if we have only half our life remaining, he gains it. So I've included quite a few ways to half our life total, because why not? You only live once, so let's live for half that time. Triple black for Gaza's Assassin. 2/2, sacrifice it, destroy target non-black creature. But the recover mechanic. So we can pay half our life rounded up. When another creature is put into your graveyard from play, you may pay half your life rounded up. If you do, return this card from your graveyard to your hand, otherwise remove it from the game. So it's a really good way of rebuying this, and the awesome thing is it's halving your life total, so Baal is now, you know, indestructible. That's the one. Dear God, my mind fell into disarray. But it's also a sacrifice effect. So it sacrifices itself, which triggers Baal, and, you know, puts a counter on something, goads something. So it just works on every dimension for the deck. Then Toxic Deluge, an incredible board wipe. 3 mana, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life. So if you really want to, pay 20 life, get yourself down there to half the life. Baal is now indestructible. All creatures get -X until end of turn. Very, very powerful. Then we've got the Fire Covenant. 3 mana, instant as additional cost to cast it. Pay X life. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. This is fantastic, and it's an instant. So good. I think it was recently reprinted in Secret Lair, so should be able to pick up a foil version that's not this, I think, awesome art, but I mean, it's retro, isn't it? So there are copies out there, and this is a fantastic one-sided board wipe. Amazing stuff. Amazing. Then we've got Plunge into Darkness. 2 mana, instant, choose one. Sacrifice any number of creatures. You gain 3 life for each sacrifice this way. So a great way if we've got a big board built up of battling a lot of other creatures. Or we pay X life and look at the top, X cards in your library. Put one of them into your hand and remove the rest from the game. And you can entwine this for a single black, so it means you get both if you pay 3 mana in total. Really, really good. Can help you dig through your deck for that one combo piece you need, or, you know, the Sakura Tribe Elder you've really been looking for. And it brings us down to half our life total. Then, slightly different direction here, we've got Lorcan, Warlock Collector. 7 mana for a 6/6 flyer. Whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it onto the battlefield under your control. It's a Warlock in addition to its other types. If a Warlock you control would die, exile it instead. So really good way of doing this. We're controlling the board a lot with our sort of board wipes and, you know, removal spells and stuff like that. And this helps get our life total further and further down and builds up a massive board state for us. Then Bolus's Citadel, absolute combo enabler, but here I just play it as a value engine. 6 mana. Legendary artifact, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. If you may play the top card of your library, and you may cast spell this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. Ooh. And you can tap and sacrifice 10 non-permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. Works in so many different ways for this deck. I love the card. And then, here's one that, So, 3 mana for Murderous Betrayal. Enchantment, pay a double black and pay half your life, round it up. Destroy target non-black creature. Hey, a repeatable way of halving your life total. If you really, really want to. Interesting card, and it's white bordered. Lovely. So, there you go. Getting your life total low with some useful and interesting effects. Really cool. And that takes me on to number 1. And at number 1, we've got Curses. Now, Baal is quite a cool character, and I think he'd like maybe put curse on things. I might be completely wrong, by the way. I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. But I like the curses from a gameplay sort of perspective. You want to force your opponents to attack each other, so putting a curse on someone really incentivizes other opponents to attack that person. And Curse of Opulence is one of the best. 1 red for an aura. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a gold token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. So yes, we're helping that one opponent, but they're not forced, but they want to attack an opponent, and then we get a gold token as well. So it's ramp. Incredible. Such a good card. To go along with it, we've got Bitter Heart Witch. the name of my ex-wife. 5 mana for a 1/2 Death Toucher. Whenever it dies, you may search your library for a curse card, put it onto the battlefield, attach to target player, then shuffle your library. Really good, really good. Searches up all of these curses we're going to talk about. Curse of Misfortune, Aura Curse. Enchant player. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a curse card that doesn't have the same name as a curse attached to enchanted player. Put it onto the battlefield attached to that player, then shuffle your library. Well, we're playing Commander here, so they're all going to be named different things, but this is just an incredible, incredible card. Just keep piling those curses onto one person. I love it. Then we got the Curse of Predation, which works with the 1/1 counters that we were talking about. 3 mana Aura Curse, enchant player. Whenever a creature attacks, enchanted player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Hey, there you go. Ways of getting counters onto your opponent's creatures and also our own, because obviously we can attack that player that we're cursing. Very cool. Then this is an interesting one. Curse of Hospitality. You know, when you've been working at McDonald's too long, there's a curse of hospitality upon you. 3 mana Aura Curse. Creatures attacking enchanted player have trample. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to enchanted player, that player exiles the top card of their library. Turn to turn, that creature's controller may play that card and may spend manas that were mana of any colour to cast that spell. So this really does incentivize your opponents to attack your other opponents, or whichever opponent has the curse on them, because they want that card advantage, and you never know what's going to be on the top, do you? It's like it's intriguing. You're like, I want to know. I'm going to attack. Yeah, go on. I'll attack John. Haha. Which is exactly what we want to do, and so does Baal. Curse of Thirst. 5 mana for an Aura Curse. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, it deals damage equal to the number of curses attached to him or her. This is potentially a game ender with all the other curses that we've got going on here. Just like Curse of Disturbance. 3 mana Aura Curse. When enchanted player is attacked, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. There's a creature that Baal could potentially, you know, in Goad, not enchant, Goad. So there we go, another way of giving our opponents creatures that they might want to attack their opponents with. There you go, curses. I'd play them. I think it'd be cool in the deck. And do you know what else would be cool? If you joined me in subscribing to this channel. Hey, gonna be making tons of videos like this, so come along for the journey and, you know, have some fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.